What's up guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Morgan. I make videos talking about my career change to UX design, how you can change your career to UX design as well, and the pain of existence. And if that kind of content interests you, make sure to hit subscribe. So today I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 tips for bootcamp goers. If you don't know me, I did a UX design bootcamp to become a UX designer. I've been a UX designer at Vanguard for 2 years now. I went to Career Foundry, 5% discount code in the description. In all seriousness, discounts can help you if you are considering a bootcamp. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you are considering a bootcamp. Career Foundry is the one that I attended. I have a bunch of videos talking about my experience with Career Foundry. Do your own research if you are interested in that. The code is in the description. And then I also have $1,000 off of Springboard boot camps. So 2 good discount codes in the description. I'm sure you can find other discount codes for other boot camps on the internet somewhere. So that's like a number 1 little bonus tip starting off strong, that there are discounts for boot camps. Sometimes you have to meet with an advisor. That's actually what I did. I used another YouTuber's 5% discount code for Career Foundry. So use mine, and I got $1,000 off for meeting with one of their advisors. So they had a promotion going at the time. Keep an eye out for that. So anyway, into the actual useful bootcamp tips. Number 1, and I'm gonna say this first, don't skip the boring stuff. There will be things about agile working environments usually, how to do developer handoff. Depending on the bootcamp, I don't know the content of every course out there, but don't skip that stuff. Don't just focus on the visual design. Don't skip over user research or anything like that. Like, really pay attention to each bit of information that the bootcamp is giving you, because documentation, super useful. Very, very useful in your day-to-day work. You have to do it. You can't skip over it. If you're skipping over it, your process is not good. And that is important when you are working for a company. It might be a little bit different if you're doing freelance work. You're literally just handing things off. Even so, you usually have to document for developers or future designers that may take on the work that you did. Learn about things like documentation. Learn what a lean, agile environment is. That's how a lot of companies are working nowadays. So it's important to understand how these tech companies work. You should learn how to communicate with developers. What is developer handoff? These are things that you should know and may help you stand out from other applicants who didn't learn these things. Tip number 2 is to use the community that is afforded to you. So I did not do this when I did my bootcamp until after I graduated. There was a Slack community available to me, and I just did not take advantage of it at all until I was already looking for jobs. I was shy, I was embarrassed, I didn't want people to see my work, and that is just not the life of a UX designer. It's not only good practice for getting feedback, but you're also going to feel a lot less alone, and you can also gain experience by giving other people feedback and really stretch your design muscles with that type of work. So really take advantage of the community that is available to you. I really wish that I had. It worked out for me, but I was very lonely. Tip number 3 is to take full advantage of what you're paying for. Again, I didn't do this. I didn't even finish the entirety of my bootcamp. I did the intro course, I did the UX immersion, which is the bulk of it, but then there was also a specialty course, and I chose UI design, and I sucked at it, so I quit. There was also a job prep course that you had to do in order to get the job guarantee. Either you get a job within 6 months or they'll give you your money back. I didn't do that either. It was dumb of me. Do as I say, not as I do. So take full advantage of the program, take advantage of the tutors that they give you, of the student advisors, the mentors. There are job boards for a lot of these boot camps. Career Foundry has one. I didn't know about it at the time. Maybe it's new. I'd like to think that it's new, but yeah, I did not use that, and I wish that I had. They'll also generally help you with your resume and your portfolio, and I did not take advantage of these things. Just because it worked out for me does not mean that it will work out for everybody, so please take full advantage of your program. Next tip, remember that this bootcamp is a stepping stone. A bootcamp generally is not going to get you a job. The certification is not going to get you a job. The case studies in your portfolio and the way you interview and your resume and everything, like that's going to get you interviews and the job, not the boot camp. Don't go into this expecting to be able to get a job the next day unless you have like some sort of in. It's totally possible. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but we deal with reality on this channel and it is hard. The UX market is incredibly saturated, especially with bootcamp graduates. I don't want to say that there are fewer jobs out there, but there are definitely fewer remote jobs out there than when I was doing this. So I had a lot more opportunity because I could apply to essentially anywhere in the world because everyone was remote at the time. I did this during the pandemic. But now everyone's doing return to office, trying to justify their overhead, and it's a lot harder to get a remote junior designer role. So in order to stand out, and I just put out a video talking about my 5 tips on how to get UX design job, you really need to do things outside of your boot camp. So do solo projects, practice interviewing, reach out to people on LinkedIn, ask about their experience, reach out to alumni from your boot camp. A lot of people reach out to me from Career Foundry asking about my experience and my advice, and if only they watched my YouTube channel. So remember, boot camp's not going to get you the job, it's a stepping stone. Valuable, concentrated information in these boot camps if you pick the right one. Don't do any shady stuff, and if it's too cheap to be true, it probably is. So definitely do heavy research into the boot camps, but make sure to do that external work and the external effort. Reach out to designers and design groups outside of your boot camp. Reach out to more experienced people, have them tear your case studies and your portfolio apart. It will all help so much. The last tip, stay focused. This was a huge problem of mine. I have really bad analysis paralysis. It keeps me from finishing things or even starting things. So what I would do when I was in my boot camp is I would often get really interested in a topic, and then I would just get hyper fixated and I would start a brand new course. And I was stupid and spent money on certain courses that I really regret, and the program sucked. But anyway, make sure to stay focused on your boot camp. You can hyper fixate on things later. Get that foundational information before you deep dive into a topic or a certain industry. Like I got really interested in XR design, and that probably cost me months of work that I could be doing on my boot camp that cost me a lot of money, but also brain power. I was super stressed during this time. I had no job. I wanted a job. I was switching careers, doing something that I felt very much like an imposter. So yes, stay focused, focus on your boot camp. If you want to deep dive into topics, make sure you're doing it for free, but don't stray from your boot camp. Like, don't go research something instead of doing your boot camp. If you're genuinely interested in something, you can, it'll still be there when you're done your boot camp. So just remember that you don't have to research that thing exactly right now. You can do that later and specialize later. Just get your foundation solid, and then you can focus on more niche things. So there you go. Those were my 5 tips plus 1 bonus tip about the discounts that again are in the description. You're not alone. It's really tough. Boot camps are really exciting in the beginning when it's the introductory information, and then it gets very real and it gets very scary, but you will be fine. I don't know why I've been hearing a lot recently about people being like, oh, don't go into UX design. It's oversaturated, you'll never get a job. There's a lot of job opportunities out there. And I do agree that companies are still trying to understand what UX design is, how to use it properly, and that's not anything that's within your control, which is kind of scary. If you work hard, stick to it, and treat the job hunting process like a UX designer, you will be okay. I don't advise people, quit their jobs and do a boot camp and, without any sort of financial net. If you're planning on leaving your job to become a UX designer, maybe do a course. Like I did a self-paced course that I could do part-time. If you've got to work retail or something while you do this, like do it. Make sure that mentally you're okay and you're not stressing. I know people will talk about like, I'm going to get rid of my safety nets that way I have to get a job, and like, why? I didn't have a job because it was the pandemic and the company I worked for like literally couldn't afford to keep me anymore. So I lived off savings and unemployment at that time. Just, take care of yourself. boot camps are great, but take care of your mental health, make sure you're okay, and just remember you're not alone. You can always come to this channel, leave a comment, we can talk back and forth, and yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.